everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, checking in with a weekly garden tour. Last week we enjoyed some cooler than normal temperatures, lower humidity, and even an inch and a half of rain. This week, mid-90s and no rain in the forecast, so back to normal. Now I've been busy moving sprinklers and keeping everything well watered in advance of the fall open garden, which is coming up in just a few weeks. It's scheduled for Saturday, September 23rd from noon to 4 p.m. As always, it's free, no registration, rain or shine, and I've been busy getting seed packets ready. But today I want to take you around the garden so that you can see how beautiful everything is looking despite the very uncomfortable weather. Well, as you can see, the swallowtails have ventured from the phlox to the zinnias, which is extra special. They're of course still all over the phlox as well, but it's just so beautiful to look out the window from the family room and see all of this activity. And all of these bright pink zinnias, they've just been self-sowing for years. I didn't actually sow any of those. The ones that I sowed, I think are really quite extraordinary. They are part of the Queenie Lime series, and I think this is Queenie Lime, maybe Queenie Lime Red. I'm not exactly sure. You can tell because it's got this more kind of saturated color. It's not like so bright pink compared to, say, like a normal zinnia seedling. I'm pleased to show that these salvias that I've been kind of complaining about are actually starting to do a better job of putting on a show, so that's quite nice. And I'm also really pleased to share that the eggplants are back in full fruit production. I think there's about another 10 or 12 that are growing out here in this foundation foodscape bed. Now you'll also see along edges, I tucked in some broccoli a few days ago, and with that, I direct seeded some arugula. And I did that Friday. Today is Monday. And you can see the arugula is already starting to germinate. I think it's still really early to do a lot of this seeding. I'm doing it, of course, for germination trials before selling seeds to all of you at the open garden. But I'm really pleased to see so much that has only been sown for a few days that is germinating. It's really encouraging. I wanted to show you another one of my favorite zinnias. This is Queenie Lime Orange. And I guess I did a pack here because you can see these are all the same, and then a different pack over there when I was sowing the seed. And of course you can see more eggplants. Really pleased about that because I don't have many zucchini left. I did do another seeding. I don't see any germinating yet, but maybe in the next few days. And maybe a late seeding of zucchini will be successful to avoid the squash bugs. I don't know, we'll see. Now out here in the wave, I love it so much, words can't describe it. I also want to point out, because I am growing sweet potatoes, and sweet potatoes are a huge agricultural crop here in central North Carolina. My ag extension agent came out and brought a weevil trap, so you know, I can keep track if I have any problem bugs. None of those are weevils, so that's good. If I do, I have to let them know. And you could see these Thailand Giant Colocasias, you know, they just keep getting bigger and better, and of course they really like water, so they're a huge motivator for running sprinklers. I'm also really pleased to see the cosmos are starting to fill in. You know, I sort of envisioned this to have more cosmos, but it turns out that I just think that it's so awesome as it is. I think the wave is my favorite garden in all of my gardens. It's my favorite space to be able to experiment with growing things. You know, it started off growing wheat, and that was a real life-changing experience for me. And I love having these summer installations with sweet potatoes, you know, which again are a huge agricultural crop, but, you know, in this more ornamental style. And I do think that the addition of those Thailand Giants was the right choice. It just looks tropical and amazing. And out here in the kind of roadside shrub border, everything's looking so much better because of the rain and also because I've been using the sprinkler a lot. It's nice to see everything isn't wilted and looking like it's on death's door. The Lespedezas will be blooming soon. Probably not quite in time for the open garden, but they're a really great fall bloomer. And I did get this seeded 2 days ago, and I'm sure nothing has germinated yet, but this is my motivation for doing a better job irrigating. So all this open space, I did a mix of my spring cottage garden mix and then one of the spicy green combos right along the edge to help deter animals. So next garden tour, I am positive that I will have significant germination in here. I just can't get enough of this wave. You see the tobacco right there. I love the mosaic of all of these different Treasure Island sweet potato varieties mingling together. You know, usually I'm like kind of a one cultivar big block of the same thing, and this is just so much more dynamic. It is awesome, and I definitely want to do this every single year. I haven't really talked about the castor beans much this summer, and they're worth acknowledging for sure. You know, these are self-sown, and in years past I've had like a whole forest of them, so I'm glad to have kind of gotten it handled to be just a few. And they are just starting to get ready to start to flower. Of course, they set an incredible number of seed, but this is just a really terrific seed strain that my friend Alan Galloway, who passed away a few years ago, actually brought back from Laos. And it's just the most burgundy of any castor bean that I've ever seen. And it really adds such a great texture and color. It's also poisonous to animals like deer and rabbits. Not to the point of killing them, but to make it where they don't want to eat it. So it's a good plant to include in sunny areas if you have a lot of browsing animals. Quick hibiscus update. OMG, you guys, I'm seeing little flowers. That's actually step one of what you would harvest to make hibiscus tea. So the fact that it's happening this early gives me some hope that I'm actually going to get some harvested this year. It'll be the first time ever. I just love this plant. I love the texture, and I really like it sandwiched between the castor beans. This is a combination that I want to remember for future years. The Suncredible, Thailand Giant, sesame, peppers, sweet potatoes, just all of it. Really, really spot on this year. I'm so happy with the results. You know, it's important to acknowledge that more than half of this was direct seeded. So even though you may have a design in mind, some of it is left up to the plants. And when it all comes together and you know that you were, you know, instrumental in it, but it isn't all me. It's the magic of the garden that really makes it all mold together and look so good that it just makes you marvel at how amazing horticulture is. And, you know, I just hope that it's one of those things that people will see and want to have this in their front yard too, because it brings you so much awe and wonder and joy. It keeps me occupied all the time. And I just think that there's something really amazing about being able to walk out your front door and feel occupied and engaged. And you can learn so much from it. So sincerely hope that that gets expressed in my videos that I make, because it's certainly a genuine feeling that I get to experience. Y'all, it is so hot, that sun. Oh my gosh. But look at how pretty the wall looks. Look at that sun shining through the black mud dress. I moved the rice pots to this side just because I don't know, was moving stuff around. Everything along the front looks good. I obviously got a package from Proven Winners, and it's a whole bunch of hydrangeas, and I just think that it's too hot and too dry to plant them, so they're gonna live here for a while. And these planters look good. You know, I've got to say, I wasn't that impressed in the beginning, but this big tall begonia is really amazing. And that one is, I'm not sure. Begonia Whopper, white green leaf. There you go. And of course, the impatiens, which I tend to ignore, but this has been a great one. So it is lipstick. And you can see over here that basically the impatiens has taken over the whole pot. These coleus that I'd rooted in a vase have filled in really nicely, and this begonia that looked so good early on has really kind of faded through the heat. But it's still alive, it's not dead. Most of the Rex begonias are dead. So glad that that one moved to Joy Salmon is still with me. But I'm finding it ironic that every day I'm appreciating these impatiens more and more. And I remember when I got them, I was like, oh, if they knew me, they'd know I don't want impatiens. Here I am, singing their praises. Well, the mangave side of the wall has filled in really well. I wish I had started them at this size because they would be really impressive. But I think I've pretty well decided that I'm gonna overwinter them and do this installation again next year, which is crazy, I realize, but I love it. I can't help it. And well, out back, I've actually got some mangave that are starting to flower. So you'll have to tune in tomorrow to see that section of the weekly garden tour. As you can see, everything here along the south property border is looking good. The onions are coming back. That white-eyed sedge is really filling in a bit more capably than it needed to. The papyrus looks awesome. I just think it looks like huge fireworks. And this has been hardy for me for the last about 8 years. It's in a pond, a sunken pond that holds water. That's the critical component. And then as we go over here, I am so happy to show you all the birdhouse gourds. Look at all of them dangling. I think they're the cutest things. It's been a while since I've grown them, and I think I actually sowed these a year ago and they germinated this year. But you can see I've got a nice amount and more coming, and of course they do love to sort of scurry up trees. I'm really pleased just to have this arch covered. It drives me crazy to have these arches and not have them covered with plant material. And I showed this in a video a few days ago where I planted the celery that I got at Bell's, and I overseeded with white cloud crimson clover. And then I didn't mulch, which was stupid. I should have mulched immediately after sowing the seed because, well, all that crimson clover is germinating and now I can't mulch. So I missed my opportunity. That's okay. I'm just keeping it watered. And once everything grows like a week from now, you'll even be able to see less soil. So it won't be a problem. But I am saying that if you are following my videos and doing the things that I'm doing, when you sow the seed at this season, mulch immediately. Otherwise, you're gonna miss your chance to mulch. And along this side of the fence, you can see the tomatoes are still rolling. I swear every time I come out here, I harvest like 15 fruit. I'm like, I don't know how I missed it earlier today. I think they just ripen that fast. It's crazy. I try to harvest my fruit. Even at this stage, I've been starting to harvest when they're just starting to turn. I think I'll go ahead and give these till tomorrow. You can see some pumpkins are moving in from the other side of the fence, and I decided I'm a-okay with that. I like the bold texture. I really like the color combination with the sweet potatoes. And so even if the tomatoes start to get ugly, there's plenty of other foliage that will compensate and make it look better than it would if it was just tomatoes. Well, I'm going to tease you with the beautiful back gardens and hope that you'll tune in tomorrow for the second half of my weekly garden tour. As always, thanks so much for watching and happy gardening, everybody.